Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video on how to prep your box for your aesthetics exam. This exam I took in Washington, D.C., so please keep in mind that every single state is different, and to be sure to check out the paperwork for your state. Keep in mind that the revision of the paperwork that I'm basing this off of is the 2018 version, and I took my test in 2019. I did pass both my practical and written exams, so you are hearing this from an esthetician. I mainly made this video to help somebody else out in case they needed help with this. I'm not saying this is the perfect way to do it and you don't have to follow everything step by step. However, this is just what worked for me, and I'm hoping that this would help you guys as well. But without further ado, let's get started. Now before I get started, I did want to just cover for you guys that this is only going to show you what I put in the box and how I prepped it. I will make a separate video on a walkthrough from what I did in my exam, so please be sure to look out for that video. To get started, the first section is going to be your setup. Your setup will include one bag that is labeled Universal Supplies, your bounty paper, and then also 3 paper bags. Each paper bag will be labeled. Your first bag will be labeled items to be disinfected. The second bag is going to be your soiled linens, and the last bag will be your trash bag. For each bag, you will place a trash bag in there before you even fold the bag. That way, when you get to the exam, you can just pop it open for ease of use. This just prevents any liquid from seeping through into the paper bag. For the bounty paper, I mainly just brought it in case I had a big spill of any sort of liquid. I didn't actually use it. However, please be sure if you do bring one that is enclosed and a brand new package, so that way they know that this is a clean and new item that you're bringing into the exam room. Now to break down what is in the Universal Supplies bag, keep in mind that everything is labeled. Starting with the bag, it is labeled Universal Supplies. The items in the bag will include a bottle of hand sanitizer, a bag of new gloves, a cleaning box, and also a first aid kit. For the disinfectant, I brought 2 different types. I brought the Cavi wipes for ease of use, and I also brought the Cavicide spray bottle in case I needed anything that was a larger area. In Washington, D.C., you are required to use a EPA-approved disinfectant for your examination. However, other states may not, so please make sure to check your paperwork for this one. And here's an overview of what is in this bag. The next portion of the setup is going to be your clean drapes and towels bag. You will have 2 of these bags, one for each client. In this bag, you will include a couple different items just for setting up the table. Depending on how you want to set up the table, you can change this up. Starting with the bag, it will be labeled clean drapes and towels. The items in this bag will include a white fitted sheet. This is a twin size fitted sheet. Everything does have to be white for this examination, so please be sure to make sure it is all white and you're not using anything with patterns on there. You'll also have a flat sheet for draping over the model. And I brought 3 towels. These are actually just dish towels. I just like the size a lot more, and they are very cost effective. The first towel I'm using for placing over the headrest over the fitted sheet. The second one is going to act as sort of like a catcher. This one will be placed over the flat sheet and between the flat sheet and the model, so folded. And then the last one will be placed over the table to place it under your items so the items are not directly touching the table. And the last item in this bag will be your headband. I actually brought 2 headbands just in case I dropped one, which is really good because I actually ended up dropping one. So please make sure that for anything small or just really anything at all, if you can, try to put 2 items in there just in case you drop one. If you do drop something in the examination, you're not able to pick it up and reuse it just because that item will be contaminated if it drops on the floor. And here is an overview of everything that's in this bag. Moving on to the next section, this will be your setup for your client 1. This will include everything that you need for all the procedures that are listed under client 1. For client 1, you will need a steam towel. What I did was I put this in a separate baggie in case of any leaking. I prepped the towel the night before and put it in the steamer, and I set an alarm clock for the next morning so that way I can make sure to move it back into the box before I leave the house. This keeps the towel nice and warm and also fresh as well. The best thing to do is to put 2 towels in there just in case you drop one. I only have one in here just because I already took my exam, so I used one already. Now to take a closer look at the Client 1 bag, this will include all of the procedures that you will need to use for Client 1. Each one is in a separate baggie, starting with cleansing the face, exfoliating the face, and also massaging the face. And here is what is inside the Cleansing the Face bag. Starting with the first item is a bowl. This is actually a Ziploc bowl. It has a twist on cap. What I actually did was I labeled the bottom bowl, and for the cap itself, I actually turned it into a clean pellet so that way I have somewhere to place my products. The twist on cap is also great so you can close it at the end so you don't spill any water out. Next item I have is a little bottle of water. Sanitary Disposables, which I have some 4x4s for removing product, a sponge wedge for applying toner, and also some cotton rounds for removing makeup. For products, I put all the products in a small travel container. I have the toner in a spray bottle so that way it's easier to put onto the sponge wedges. I have a cleanser in a dispenser because it is a cream dispenser, so it actually dispenses easier that way. And then the same thing with the makeup remover. I use a dispenser so that way it's easier since it is a gel format. The next bag I have is the Exfoliating Face. This will include a bowl, an exfoliant, and Sanitary Disposables, which I have some 4x4s, some more cotton rounds, and also some spatulas. The spatulas are mainly just for removing product from the jar. You do not want to dip your fingers in there as that will contaminate the product. And the last bag will be Massaging the Face bag. This bag does not have a lot going on in there at all. All this has is going to be your massage oil, which you can also use a cream format if you like. And I also have more Sanitary Disposables, which I just have some 2x2s in there for removal. And this concludes your Client 1 items. Next section will be your Client 2 section. This bag will include all of the procedures for Client number 2. This will include your facial mask, your makeup application, hair removal, and also your blood contaminated products procedure. Breaking down the facial mask bag, you'll have a bowl, some Sanitary Disposables, which would have your 4x4s with some spatulas for removing the product and also some cotton rounds. Disinfected brushes for applying the mask, a bottle of water and your moisturizer and toner, and a facial mask. And here's an overview of the facial mask bag. Next bag will be your hair removal bag. In this bag you will have your cold wax. This is a simulated wax. I used honey for mine. A bag of gloves, wax strips, and also your disinfected implements. This will include your tweezers. I put 2 tweezers in there. I know that one's a super tiny one, but I just had 2 in case I dropped one. Sanitary Disposables, which would include your 4x4s for your antiseptic and post-appellation, and also some spatulas for the wax. Next, you're going to have your post-appellation and your antiseptic. And here's an overview of the hair removal bag. Next portion would be the makeup application portion. This will include your makeup palette. This is where you're going to scrape off any powders or any lipstick or foundation. This is where you're going to work off of. Then you have your disinfectant makeup brushes. For me, I just brought a fluffy eyeshadow brush, eyebrow brush, and a powder and blush brush as well. For the Sanitary Disposables, there's quite a couple things in here as this is actually really important. One of the things are these rounds here. It has kind of like a sponge type material on one side and on the other side is silk. This is just great for picking up products. You don't have to use this. You can actually use a cotton round if you like. But I had my hands on these from in school, so I was able to kind of get some to use these for my exam. But they're great for picking up any type of pressed powder. I also have some lipstick ones in here. So what I actually do is I'll use these spatulas to scrape the lipstick once, trash it, scrape it again, and then you'd use the lipstick wand to pick up the lipstick off of that. You can also put it on the palette first. Lastly, I just have some mascara wands for the mascara as well. And then I also have the eyeshadow wand here for picking up the eyeshadow. For the foundation, I'm actually using a sponge wedge to apply it. You do not have to use a sponge wedge to do this. You can also use a foundation brush. I just opted to use the sponge because the foundation I chose to use is more light coverage, so I wanted something that really blended it in. Now to go over the makeup products, I actually purchased all brand new makeup products for this exam. They're all super affordable, starting with the e.l.f. foundation. This one was just really a couple bucks. It's very, very translucent and very natural, so it's very easy to blend. I also got this face powder as well. The face powder I actually purchased from TJ Maxx. For the blush, I'm using this NARS palette. For me, I actually picked this NARS palette up as kind of a treat for myself, I'm not gonna lie. I found it in TJ Maxx for a sale price. I believe it was only like $14 or something like that. So I figured, you know what, I can actually reuse this item. Another thing I want to point out is everything is labeled. For the brows, I'm just going to use this brow pomade. This is a really cheap one that I got from TJ Maxx. And for the eyeshadow, I also purchased this from TJ Maxx. I believe it was just $4, and this is a NARS single colored eyeshadow. This is a pretty good color because it's not too dark, not too light. For the eyeliner and lipstick pencil, I have the sharpener, and then for the mascara, I just got this really cheap mascara that came with a eyeliner from TJ Maxx as well. And for the lips, I just have this lip pencil from Laura Mercier and also a Anastasia lipstick. And here's an overview of the makeup application bag. The last portion of Client 2 will be the blood contaminated products procedure. This is a new procedure that they just recently added. All this is you're going to show them what you would do in case somebody got hurt and there is blood present. I just put 2 Ziploc bags in here for the double bagging procedure. You will be using your first aid kit, which you have on your table already from the setup. Finally, here is the overview of client number 2. This concludes all of the bags for the entire examination. I'm going to go ahead and start into the next section of this video, which is the container setup. I just want to show you guys what container I brought just because I think it does make a huge difference. It makes it much easier for you to access everything, and I just really like the way that I placed everything, so hopefully this can maybe help you guys. For the container, I'm using this hefty high-rise box. I got this from Target. I believe this was not even 20 bucks. So it's really cheap for you guys to get it. This does have a little bit more space on the top, so that way if anything hits the top, it's not going to squish down on it. So the way that I have everything set up, I have the universal supplies in one side of the bin, where I would then put the bounty paper right next to it. Next to that, I'm going to put the clean drapes and towels. I'm going to put one here and then one right next to it. This is just easier to use, so you'll just go down the line. I would actually have this bin facing me the other way, so it actually start from left to right. Next, I would put client 2 on the other side of the box, and then I would put the steam towel in between where the clean drapes are, and I would put the client 1 bag on top of that. Next, I would put the paper bags on the side of the bin where it would be the easiest to access, since this would be the first item I would take out. And to finish off, I have my lab coat, which I do not put it in right away. I actually put this in before I leave the car, just because I didn't want to wear this under my big jacket to make it too wrinkly. So I just loosely folded and I placed it on top of everything. The lid is raised so it does not wrinkle the lab coat anymore. So I can just close it up and then everything is ready for me to take out later. And just to add, the bin I actually also labeled as a disinfected container as well. You don't have to do this, I just kind of did this as an extra step. So that concludes my video. Hopefully this helped you guys out a lot. If it did help you guys, please give me a thumbs up, as it does let me know what you guys like to watch. The other thing too is if you guys have any suggestions for other people that are taking these exams, please feel free to comment below and help everybody else out. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and check out my other videos as well. I do vlogging videos as well as DIY videos, and I will see you guys later. Bye!